Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present HR 621. Whereas on January 6, 2026, Donald Trump's Department of Health and Human Services announced a unilateral suspension of $10 billion in childcare, citing allegations of wrongdoing in Minnesota to freeze funds for Illinois and other states. Trump's latest funding freeze follows already familiar patterns, unilaterally halting congressionally mandated funding with no authorization, selectively attacking specific states for political retribution, and in this case, collective punishment. For those of you like myself who are working parents, you may understand how important childcare is. Childcare is what allows many working families to work. It's what allows me to be here in this moment. When my now 7-year-old was in childcare, I knew that I could entrust his health and safety to my local childcare provider. Alongside other people in my community, he learned and grew in his childcare center, which was like a second home to him. But it's important to note that those childcare centers are businesses. Some of them are nonprofits, some of them are businesses, and they are an integral part of our community. And that childcare center where my son goes, many working families depend on childcare subsidies, on supports, because unfortunately, too many jobs do not pay enough for someone in Illinois to be able to pay their rent, pay their childcare, and afford groceries. Trump is choosing to make working parents' greatest expenses even less affordable. We already know childcare is the most daunting cost, with the average cost of daycare outpacing the average cost of a 2-bedroom apartment in Illinois. And the saddest part is that while childcare is being stripped from our families, 100,000 families in Illinois being targeted, 100,000. And again, with the ripple effect, making sure that a childcare center like the one my son attended, if they don't have those supports for working families, what happens? Families like myself who are paying out of pocket no longer have a place to go. So this is an attack on working families and small businesses. And the saddest part is that these repeated attempts to freeze funds for working people and modest income families are now juxtaposed as we see this federal government, this president, pushing a $700 billion taxpayer-funded acquisition of Greenland and cutting more and more taxes for billionaires. And in a vanity project, creating a ballroom and renaming a Kennedy Center. These vanity projects juxtaposed with the cuts, the vicious cuts to childcare, are disgusting. What we want to see is an Illinois where families can send their kids to childcare, can have the education that they so truly deserve. And this is alongside other after-school cuts, other education cuts. So this is an attack on our working families. And the use of what's happening in Minnesota is also, frankly, very disappointing and tragic. Utilizing one situation in another state to collectively punish 10 states, including the state of Illinois, and your children and my children, is completely unacceptable. And I ask for an adoption of HR 621.